Hello, everyone. I'm Jared Easley. I'm one of the team members with Podcast Movement, and we're excited today to have Nadav Keeson from Riverside.fm. He's going to share with us, and Nadav, welcome. And if you'd be willing, maybe just share a little bit about yourself and what's going on, and then we can jump right in.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks a lot for having me, Jared. So I'm Nadav, the CEO of Riverside. I'm from Amsterdam originally. I'm still in Amsterdam, by the way. So originally still in Amsterdam. And I've built a platform that allows for podcasters to record really high quality audio and video. That's in a nutshell what we built. And I built the Riverside. The platform is called Riverside.fm. Some of you might have heard of it already. And I built it together with my brother originally. And now we launched like 1 year ago, and we've seen really rapid growth. We've got users like Disney, Hillary Clinton, Marvel. So really some cool users we've got going. And now we're basically really empowering. So really the idea of Riverside is to empower creators to look and sound professional from home. So basically have everyone look and sound as if they're using $1 million studio. That's our mission. And I think Jared's internet actually dropped off, so I'm here alone. But I will just get started regardless, and I will just... Oh, he's still here. There we go. He's back.
No, I just stepped off to let you have the free reign of the stage.
All right, cool. So, okay, thanks.
So I'm right here with you. I won't leave you hanging, but I'll be in the background.
No, it's fine. Okay, so cool. Yeah. So that's in a nutshell what Riverside is, and so Riverside is really, especially for remote conversation. So similar as to what Jared and I are doing now, it's a remote conversation. But actually, I noticed already Jared's internet is quite bad. And essentially, what Riverside.fm allows you to do is to record even in bad environments with bad internet, but still have really great audio quality. And if you have the right setup, which I will get to you right now, you can even sound and look as if you're in the studio together. So that's really, really cool. So you're remote, but it sounds for the listener at home as if you're in the studio. And I will share you my screen. I will just make this. I will try to make this presentation as actionable as possible. So there are a few things I want to tackle. Number one is quality, and number two is growing your audience. So let's start with quality, and I will explain you how Riverside can help you with quality. So the whole premises of Riverside is that while speaking to each other, you're locally recording on each participant's computer, audio and video. So what that means is internet connections don't affect the recordings. So it's almost as if you just hit record on QuickTime Player on your computer and do the same thing on your guest end, and then send those files after the recording. But the cool thing with Riverside is, first of all, there's no compression whatsoever, so the audio sounds really great. But also, you don't need to send any of your files. So everything is automatically, and I will show you right now how it's done. So in podcasting world, this is often called a double ender. So this is essentially what a double ender does. It records locally on both sides while you're speaking to each other. Okay, here we go. I'll share my screen. So here we are in my dashboard. And let me create a new studio. So we call it studio. We'll give it a name. So podcast movement. Let's call it that. We can decide, do we want audio only or audio and video? If you choose audio only, you can still see each other, but we'll just record audio. But let's for now record audio and video. Create show. Here you can invite your participants. Okay, then let's go to the recording studio. So super easy for the host and guest to use Riverside. So it's all about easy, basically. So here we ask two questions. Am I using headphones or am I not using headphones? The reason for that is, by default, we leave all compressions off. So that means we don't degrade the audio quality. We just leave it as raw as possible by default. So if people are not wearing headphones, we still have the option to basically make sure there's no echo. But by default, we leave all of those compressions off. So let's say I'm using headphones. And then what we do is we send this link we send to a guest. So actually, normally I would send it to Jared. And then the only thing I do is, as a host, I can see a few things. I can see, okay, what camera is Jared using? This is in this case it's so you see my situation. So you see, okay, I'm using a 1080p. I'm actually using my phone as a webcam right now. and you can see what microphone am I using. So if I change to the Yeti mic, which a lot of podcasters hate, so now you see here, you can very easily see for each participant that's in your call, you can see, okay, what are they using? And you can also change audio levels, so almost like a studio. And then here really comes to it. So I, as a host, see a bit more information, but the guest doesn't see this information. So we really thought about the guest experience as well. So a guest only needs to copy a link and open it, and that's it, and from a Chrome browser. So then I click record. And now what happens is we are locally recording on my computer, audio and video. So, and the cool thing is, so we're recording on my computer, audio and video for whatever device I'm using, for my mic or my phone is a webcam right now. And then we're also uploading during the conversation. So like here you can see the left number is the number we already got uploaded, and the right is the total number that got captured. So even if you have a 2-hour-long conversation, that local recording to upload never takes long, because we're already uploading the audio and video during the conversation. And that's like a game changer for podcasting, because that means you can have just a conversation as if nothing is happening. You won't notice anything while it's happening, but you are at the same time recording in the highest possible quality audio and video. So once I click stop, you get a notification. Hey, uploading 100%, and then it's done. So I can now close the browser. Even if you leave, let's say, too early or too soon, or you refresh, it's no problem. You can still always retrieve the recordings by just refreshing and going back to the studio, basically. So now let's go to the dashboard and see what we have there. Still sharing all that, 1 second. So here we see, okay, this is just me because I was alone. So we see an MP4 file, we see a WAV file, and the MP4 is in full resolution. So it's it's 16:9, and whatever quality your camera can record is the output you're gonna get. So that's like, if you have a 4K camera, you can get 4K video resolution as well. And the cool thing is, and the audio is very raw. So it sounds really, whatever your mic can record and whatever it picks up in environment is what it's going to record, regardless of the internet quality. So that's the cool thing about it. And then what we also have, which is a new thing, is the Magic Editor. So now I'm alone, but let's actually go to a different one where there are more people. So here there are more people. So here you see 2 people. So then I can click on Magic Editor. So you have these 2 separate tracks. Here I was with a guest. I was with Diana. I can go to Magic Editor. And then I can merge the files as well on Riverside. So I don't need any editing tool anymore as well. I can remove background noise, bum, normalize the gain, so that all audio levels are equal to each other. Go to next. This is for video. So I can crop I can remove this black bars, make it full screen, customize it, add a logo, add a frame, and then only thing I need to do is click next. Give it a name, hello, choose output resolution and click on finish. So, and then it appears in your dashboard. You will have the dashboard with the composed tracks that are ready for you to download. You don't need to do any editing anymore as well. So it's really from beginning to end. You can use Riverside now to create the podcast in the highest possible quality that's possible. So that's a bit about that's very fast from zero. From explaining what the platform does. I hope I was not too fast. Do we have any questions so far? Let's see. I don't think we have any questions. Okay, then we'll continue. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this was in a nutshell like what the platform of Riverside is doing. So I will explain it one more time. What we do is we locally record audio and video as the conversation is happening and upload it at the same time. Will you be showing how to do live broadcasting for Riverside? I can show that, but it's 2 extra steps. So basically the cool thing about Riverside as well, I didn't even show that, is you can also, let me show that right now. You can also share this audience link. and then people can watch while you're recording. So you can just have a conversation, and then people are basically in backstage, and then they can interact either via chat, or they can also call in with video, and then they can ask their questions. Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong, sharing the wrong screen. 1 second. So here, now I see myself double. 1 second, because I have 2 tabs open. That's why it happened. But here I can share this with an audience member. So audience member are by default not in the call, but they can watch as it's happening. So that's really cool. And this is also which brings me to the next point, which is how can you grow your podcast? Because I think there are 2 challenges with podcasting. 1 is quality. 2 is how do you actually get people to listen to your podcast? And I think number 1 is do something different. And what's like still opportunity in the market, it's actually similar to what Clubhouse is doing. Have people, while you're recording in this really high quality, be present in the backstage, and they can just basically ask the questions either via chat, or they can call in with video, which is really cool, because then you have like a interactive experience. So that's just one tip to grow. Another tip to grow your podcast is don't only publish your audio. So we have a question from Pastor Bernie. Can the Riverside capture comments that your audience is engaging in the live chat alongside the audio and video? So the questions you're getting on, let's say, Facebook are not directly coming through to Riverside. But of course, the questions that the people are asking on Riverside directly, you can interact with those. Yes. And you can also, like I was saying, you can also record in that really high quality audio and video, and at the same time live stream to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So that's really cool. So you can live stream, and afterwards you can repurpose that really high quality audio and video. So that's like another way to grow your audience. The third way is, like I was going to say, don't only use audio, but also use video. If you use video to promote on social media, video gets shared much easier. So you can just share videos of the podcast as a way to grow the podcast. Even though it's maybe not the entire episode, you can share just short videos to grow your podcast, basically. If we have more questions, I like questions. It makes it more interactive. So just like I'm suggesting you should be doing with Riverside, it's something I'm basically recommending you to do while you're recording in that really high quality audio and video. Because every person I'm engaging now with is more likely to also check out Riverside as well. So same goes for your podcast. If you have people asking questions, they become much more loyal to your podcast. Okay, I don't think we have at this point more questions. Let's see. And okay. So I was speaking about growing your podcast. So I think there are a few things that can really leverage how you can leverage basically social media and other ways to grow your podcast very fast. What I've seen working for Riverside users, basically. Number 1, I think, is try to get as high level guest as possible. So try to book a guest. Like the first time, it will probably not be such a high level guest, but the second time you can already use the first guest you had, and the third time you can already use the second time. So always try to step up the game with bigger profile guests, not just for the sake of having big profile guests, but often they're also interesting people, and ask them to share that they're going to record with you on social media. That way, you also leverage their audience as well. And some people are asking, what is the difference between Zoom versus Riverside? The difference between Zoom versus Riverside is Zoom records over the internet. So let me start sharing my screen, because then you're seeing my ugly face double. So Zoom records over the internet, and Riverside records locally. So basically, that's like a huge difference, because you can have, oftentimes people just don't have great internet connections. And then during the call, you're going to really notice that both also on Riverside as well. So there's not, in the call will be also similar to Zoom, but afterwards, when you check the recording, you're going to see really and hear really the difference, basically. So I'm asking some more questions. So the live audience will be allowed to participate in the live chat. Yes, if you share the link with them. So if you share, that's optional. You can share a link with them, and then they can interact via chat. Does Riverside record those questions in real time alongside the video and audio? No, it doesn't. I mean, you can share your screen and then share Riverside, so then you're capturing those questions. But great questions, by the way. Thanks for that. More questions? I really enjoy the questions. Okay, so I'm just checking if there are more questions. So that's in a nutshell, like a few ways to really grow your podcast. So number one is quality. So people at home sitting are not annoyed by what you're saying. Two is try to leverage not only audio, but also use video. Three is book really high profile guests as best as possible. And the first time not everyone can do that, of course. So I don't try to get the first time, I don't know, Mark Cuban, but maybe on the third time, you can get a bigger guest and try to leverage. Then write them very personal email saying, "Hey, last time this person was on my podcast. Are you interested in joining, coming on my podcast as well?" Some people are asking me what mic and camera do you recommend? Actually, I recommend don't buy an expensive mic for thousands of euros or like go 200 euros before you know if there's any match with the podcast you're building. Like I bought a podcast community hates on this mic, which for some reason I can agree. It's a Yeti I'm using. I don't really recommend it, but it does the job. But even if you're using headphones and you're using Riverside, the audio quality of your internal mic is actually already pretty good. So headphones is pretty important because then you're not compressing the audio on Riverside and it's really as raw as possible. But the great mic which is also very affordable, I think it's the ATR 2010. That's a great mark. Another one is, of course, people know it. It's a rather expensive mic. It's like around $400. It's Shure SM7B. I don't have that myself. I'm using now, and the camera notes. I'm like I was saying, I'm using my phone now as a webcam. So we are all about like you cannot expect your guest to have this really expensive mic or this really expensive camera. Oftentimes, you just need to do with the equipment you have. And that's really where Riverside comes in, because it allows you to record in the best possible quality that your camera and mic can, basically. Keep the questions coming. So people are just tuned in. I'm Nadav Kison from Amsterdam, so that's why I have a strange accent. And I'm the CEO of Riverside, a company that's really focusing on empowering podcasters to create the content they want to create. So another question we have, how is the guest experience for people on Riverside? So other than the platform that I'm using right now, the cool thing is for Riverside, guests don't need to create any account. They can just click on a link and they're ready to go. So there's no account creation and there's nothing to install as well. It all works from the browser. So that's really cool. And then we have one big announcement that I will make at the end of this presentation, which is also related to that. Another question. See, I really enjoy the questions because that allows me to interact a bit more with you guys and girls. Let's see. Oh, here we have more questions. Great. Does Riverside equalize the video quality of both speaker and guest like it does the audio? If you click on equalize audio gain, it will also equalize the audio that's in the video. Yes. Does Riverside help with guest recording that is very poor quality? Yes, it absolutely does. That's like our core premise. So if people are even don't have a great mic, great environment, look, we cannot do wonders. If it's a very noisy environment, or if the mic that they're using is very shit, basically, Riverside's not going to make it perfect. But it allows you to record in the best possible quality. So whatever your mic can record is what you're going to get from Riverside. Those great questions, by the way. Keep them coming. Cool. Jared, is there any question from you?
No, you're doing excellent, actually. We're just following along here. I think you're seeing everything I'm seeing. So,
all right. Well, no, I'm not used to a one man like a one man show, basically.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll just stay up here with you.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, so I think we touched the core points. What Riverside really allows you to do. So it's recording really high quality audio and video, and also not only recording, which is really cool. Let me share my screen again. It's also actually editing those files. So you don't need to do any editing. I will show it again. So I click here on view all recordings. So then I go to the recordings. And then, you don't need to be like an editor pro anymore, basically. You can very simple, with clicking, you can instantly create a podcast. You can select it if you want audio only. You can click here, audio only. Wait, let me see. I'm still sharing the wrong screen. Oops. Sorry about that. So here I was showing, basically, you don't even need to use video as well. If you want audio only, you can click here, audio only. You select it. You remove background noise, normalize gain. Next, because there's no video, there's no customization. And then you can just give it a name, podcast 1, and finish. So Riverside also doesn't only allow you to record, it also really allows you to make a professional podcast. So that's, I think, really unique as well. And let's see if we have more questions. We have some more questions. How many people can record in one session? 8 people can record in one session, and producers and audience members, you can have up to 1,000 people can be watching while you're recording. Another question is, what's the benefit of getting a separate audio and video track? The benefit of getting a separate audio track is that it allows for much more control in post-production. Because if I have a separate track for myself and for Jared, I can, for example, let's say there's a lot of noise in his track at some point. I can, instead of doing all these compressions on both ends, I can just do it on his side. Or for example, let's say his audio levels are much higher than mine. I can very easily equalize them. Whereas if it's one track combined, it's much more difficult to do any of that editing, basically. Another question is, let's see. All right, let's see. So, I think we are covering most of what I wanted to speak. Some question is, do you offer a free trial? Yes, we offer 1 hour free trial. So everyone can sign up. You don't need to have a credit card. So that's also very easy that way. Let's see. I really enjoy the questions. It makes it more dynamic. I hope you don't mind, Jared, me as answering the questions instead of only presenting.
No, this is fine. What is the link for the free trial? I'll put that in the chat here.
So it's let's see, what is the link? It's riverside.fm/start. I'll add it in chat here.
Okay.
Oh, thanks. You're faster than I am. So I have another question. Just for me to understand, do guests need to send the recording to the host, or do I access them automatically? Everything is automatic, so that's really the core value. It makes everything easy. Jared, for example, he could also record locally on his side with QuickTime Player, and if you want to go through that trouble, go ahead. It's a cheap alternative to do that, and I'm all about doing things within your budget. So you can definitely do that. But the whole idea of Riverside, it's very easy. You just send the link to your guest, nothing to install, and you get all of their high quality audio and video files. So, okay. So another question is, does Riverside work from your iPhone? Oh, this is actually a big question, because we are about to launch something which is really cool. And I don't want to say too much about it, but I can share you one link. Let's see. This might already give away a lot of information, but we are definitely thinking about empowering people from all places and all areas. So one of our efforts is also, probably the URL gives away the entire thing, but definitely mobile recording is something very important for us. So we have another question. What does progressive uploading mean? So progressive uploading means basically you're already uploading those files as the conversation is happening. You can also see it as an auto save, where it's constantly saving in the browser as you're speaking to your guest. So even, and this is really where Riverside stands out, your computer can crash completely, or you can refresh, and you will not lose the recording. And I can even demonstrate it on this presentation, how that looks like. Basically, your internet can be turned off completely, and you will not lose the recording. And that's where a lot of our efforts have gone into. How did Riverside start? So actually, the way Riverside started is my brother and I had the idea of bringing different-minded people together, and then we had a debating platform. So we had politicians have them debate with each other. That never really took off. We did have some cool politicians who had like the foreign minister of the Netherlands on our platform, but that never really took off. And then we made a pivot from a debating platform to more of a technology platform, which is Riverside. So actually what we've noticed, podcasts is also very often having different discussions, having these kind of similar conversations as debates that we were having. So a lot of people that come into our platform were actually use our technology instead of watching the debates. Okay, I hope that's interesting. And if you hear any buzzing, that's because I'm using my phone as a webcam right now. But so I wish I could show the back of my phone, because I taped my phone to my laptop. But the cool thing is, it might look quite good for you guys, and that's what's all about. Like it's quite hacky, right? Like I'm taping my phone to my laptop, so because I don't have a holder for it. That's why I had to do that. Of course, when you have a holder, it's even better. But everyone has a phone, and that's really our whole idea. Like everyone should be able to create a high quality podcast from anywhere, basically. We have another question. What do you think of content repurposing? Yeah, I think you should definitely use that. Like, if you record once, try to push out your podcast everywhere. So push it on YouTube, push it on Facebook, wherever your audience lives. Try to get in front of them on LinkedIn. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame to not basically try to distribute your podcast as at all places, especially because you have that video. So a lot of you podcasters, I agree, like audio is a much better experience for listeners, because it's much more intimate, and it creates like an intimate experience for the listener. But why not also leverage video to grow your podcast? I don't see it as one on the other. I see this doing both. Of course, I prefer actually listening to podcasts than watching the podcast, because of that intimacy. It's different, and you're much more focused. But at the same time, when I am on Twitter or on my social media, I'm more likely to check a video than actually listen to a podcast, because you're not going to listen to a podcast when it's on social media, basically. We have another question. How long does it take for the uploading to finish? I don't want to ask my guests to say on a long time after the recording has ended. So this is really, really cool. Even if a recording takes 2 hours, it will never take long to upload, because that means if we are recording for 2 hours, it also means we've got 2 hours to upload that recording. So because we're uploading while it's happening, basically. Where can I find content examples that are recorded on Riverside? Let me share it in the chat. It's a good question. So, Pastor Bernie, what amateur software do you recommend using for editing the videos we get from our Riverside recordings? I actually recommend try out the magic editor we built on Riverside, because that's really built for having those interviews and merging those interviews. So let me show it one more time. Let's see. And I speak very fast, so if I'm speaking too fast, let me know. It's my Dutch nature. So here you click on Magic Editor, and then you can easily actually edit the files without doing any editing whatsoever. So you can just click through the platform, and then you're editing them as it's going, and that's really what makes it easy. But if you want to like have more control over the files, I would say Premiere is or that's not free actually. A free one that I've seen a lot of people use. iMovie you can do pretty good stuff with as well, which is free. It comes on most computers, and yeah, that's definitely a way to go, using iMovie or using whatever you have Again, I also don't recommend to buy expensive software as well. Like, try to do it with what you have. Of course, you can go, once you see your podcast has a lot of reach and it's going well, then you can definitely consider those kind of things. GarageBand, of course, is another good alternative. Let's see if we've got more questions. If we don't have any more questions, and actually, I'm seeing, for example, right now, this is cool. Fila Davis says, great platform. I'm using it weekly for a podcast with a housewife of NYC cast member. Thanks for the information. Well, I'm really, thanks a lot, Fila. It really means a lot. We've put a lot of effort in it. Right now, I'm seeing, for example, that my internet connection here is quite bad. I'm getting my notifications. And probably you're also noticing while you're watching. Although I thought I had good internet, but the cool thing is really in the recording, if it would be on Riverside, you would not notice that. And that's really what makes the difference. Another person asks, how long does it take for the uploading to finish? I don't want to ask my guests to stay on a long time after the recording is ended. Yeah, it never really takes long to upload. It's what I've been saying. Like, we're uploading as it's happening. So it never takes long. Of course, if someone has very, very bad upload speed, it might take a bit longer, but it can never really take long. Another question. Is there a way to take phone calls or add someone with a phone? Yes. Sign up for this. I'm sending the link again. We're building out something really cool which will allow you to do that. I don't want to give away everything, but you're probably one of the first to hear about it. But it's definitely possible soon to also to use your phone on Riverside as well. And we're the first to do that. Only iOS. Yes, for now, only iOS. I'm sorry. Like, I hope to get Android as well, but for now, we're iOS only. What's your pricing? So also our pricing is actually catered also to people that are just starting off or want to go a bit more. We start at $7.50 per month if you sign up for a year plan. And if you sign up for a monthly plan, it starts at $9 per month. And it goes up to $29 per month, depending on the amount of hours used. All plans have audio and video, so we don't differentiate between audio and video. Cool. Can it take landline calls? No, it cannot take landline calls. That's a cool idea, though. If you can call in, like, you can call in with video right now, so that's pretty cool. But you cannot call in with a landline. Can I use my DSLR to record on Riverside? Yes, absolutely. Whatever Chrome can recognize, we can also recognize. So if you're using your DSLR in, let's say, Google Meet, or like I'm using now my phone as a webcam, Riverside will also recognize it as well. So it can really look professional as well. Like, it doesn't. You don't need to look like how I'm looking right now. Although I think it looks pretty good, but you can even go much more high end and still use Riverside. What if I want to record audio only shows? Can I still see my guest? Yes. So you can also, there's an option to record audio only, and you can still see each other to have a good conversation, or you can also turn off your video, but you can definitely record audio only while still seeing each other. Cool. I'm really enjoying these questions. I like the interactive element instead of... I can share one more time the screen, taking you from beginning to end, and then I think I'm going to leave it unless there are more questions. So I'll just take you from start very slowly, because I need to go slower, how Riverside works. So let's share my screen. So here we go. I already created the studio, but you can create a new studio, and you can reuse the same studio. So I can go to the old studio I already created. I go to the recording studio. I'm using headphones. The reason why we ask this is because by default, we don't degrade the quality. And if you're using headphones, we don't need to degrade the quality. We turn off all compressions. So no noise compression, no audio compression. I can join, and then I can send this link to my guest to have them join. And I only need to send this link. That's it. They don't need to install anything. they don't get this overview, but I do get this because I'm the host. I can see, okay, what camera is everyone using? I can see what mic are they using. And then I click on record. And then what we're doing is we're locally recording on everyone's computer audio and video in the best possible resolution. So it's as if you're recording offline. So imagine you just turn on, you just start recording like you're in a room. That's like the same idea. You're recording not over the internet, you're recording in a room, in a studio. So it's the same idea. So whatever mic you're using is going to be captured. And then we're uploading as well. So here you can see we started uploading. So it never takes long to upload those local recorded files. So we upload those local recorded files as the conversation is happening. And then when I click on stop, we finalize the upload. So now you see, okay, it's 84, 85, 93, and 100% done. Then I go to all my recordings. I need to stop sharing my screen. And then share my screen again. And here you see, okay, we made another recording. I'm alone, so you only see myself. And then, then you can merge the files with the magic editor as well. Here with a few clicks, you can create an episode. Click, remove background noise. Click, normalize again. Click, no editing. Full screen. Now I'm alone, so you will not. And then I can even add a logo. Bloomberg logo. So you can choose to add a logo here. You can position it, add the frame, and then click next. You can choose the output and finish. So that's in a nutshell, from beginning to start, how you can easily create a podcast. Let's see if. So does it also record the stream in case the guest computer crashes or glitches? Yes, we do also do a server-side recording over the internet as well. Let me show you that. So we do both. We record locally and record over the internet. And even if your computer crashes completely, like our system is like, we've been live now for a year with video as well. So we have a lot of experience recording video. So our system is actually quite bulletproof. So even if your computer crashes completely, it's a very, 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 very small chance anything will happen to the recording. Lately, it has not been happening. Okay, if there are no more questions, I think then we're going to end it there. Thanks a lot. Great. Does it do the camera switches automatically? No, it doesn't. Cool. I think we can end it there.
Fair enough. Well, before we end it, just want to know: is there any last thoughts that you have for podcasters who are wanting to record remote sessions? Any final words for them?
Yeah, I think try not to go all in on all kinds of gear before like having some kind of fit. Like it doesn't need to be so expensive to record a good looking podcast. And I personally, like, you can use Riverside. I don't care so much what you use, but I think that's really important. Try to use whatever you have, and then use any double ender. So use either you can record yourself locally on your end, or ask your guests to do the same thing. But I think that's really important for podcasts to do that double ending solution. And then of course Riverside makes that whole double ending solution easy. And then I think that's the most important takeaway from this presentation.
Excellent. And lastly, just one more time, let's put in the chat and just share with everyone where people can connect with you and the team.
So let me share our Twitter. Maybe that's cool. We're quite active on Twitter. We share updates there. Okay. So I'm sharing it here. And we also have this cool new beta. So we're launching something big, which the name gives away what we're doing. But I think the link of that is already up there as well. I'm happy.
So
let me send it
the
again.
Twitter is twitter.com/riverside.fm. That's spelled out DOTFM.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then if people want to check out what's coming, that's riverside.fm/iOS hyphen waitlist, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good deal. Cool. Well, you've kind of answered this, but looks like Justine wants to know, does it have mixing capabilities while recording? So maybe they joined a little bit late. Is that something you want to speak to real quick?
I'm not sure what kind of mixing capabilities. What do you think she means by that?
Well, you showed how you can level both guests and things like that.
Yeah, so you can change the audio levels per person during the recording as well. Absolutely.
Is the link the same every time you send it out?
Oh, see, now we're getting the questions when Jared pops in. So,
Fair enough.
So you can reuse the same link over and over. So that's really cool. That makes it very easy. You can also decide to create a new studio the way as we call it, but you can also reuse the same studio over and over. So it makes it very easy and convenient to use the same link over and over. Yes.
That's cool.
All right.
Okay. Well, I think we have addressed most of what people are interested in, and I got to say we appreciate everything that you guys are doing to help podcasters and everything you're doing in the community. Thank you so much, Nadav.
Yeah, I want to thank you for building this great community for sure. Like, it's amazing.
Excellent. All right. Well, people have the we got one more. Oh, everybody's just saying thank you, and as they should. They should be grateful. So this is very good stuff. So
okay, great.
Thank you again, and we have a couple more presentations that are coming up later in the week. We've got a session on beginner podcast techniques. That's with Rode. And we have a new member welcome that's also on Thursday, so you can learn more about that in our university or on the Facebook group. Nada, thank you again.
My pleasure.
Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.